Hello, I'm Connor Quimby, and this is How to Make an Awful Conlang, Episode 3, Grammar. I feel it's necessary to apologize for not having made anything in the past 3 months. The reason for this is very simple. School has been winding down. I've been very stressed, and I really haven't had that much time to make any videos. And I'm going to be completely honest. When I have had that time, I've been very lazy and tired. So I think it's very necessary that I apologize for not having made anything. I am going to start doing regular uploads once the summer begins. Cross my fingers, hope I actually can do that. So without further ado, let's get right into this episode of How to Make an Awful Conlang. If you've seen the previous videos of How to Make an Awful Conlang, you'll know that you should be copying a language's grammar at this point. But in the first episode where I introduced that theorem, I also mentioned that you should take little bits and pieces from anything else you like. This still holds true. We are going to make our conlang extremely hectic with its grammar. Before we get into tenses, I would like to start off with cases. In case you don't know, cases are grammatical modifiers that allow you to have a freer sentence flow, at the cost of having to memorize some more endings. German is very famous for having these cases, with nominative, accusative, dative, and genitive. Latin also has many cases. Hungarian has even more. We are going to add literally every single case, and I would recommend you make up some more. I would like to introduce you to the Tsez language, a language in the northern Caucasus regions. In case you don't know, Tsez has 64 cases. English has 3. See, Tsez is what you want your language to be. Insane. So, go to the Wikipedia page for list of grammatical cases, and I would recommend you take every single one of them. To make a new one up, all you need to do is look at the ones that are already there and kind of just make a little subgenre of them. That's all I would recommend. Now that you have your cases, it's time to move on to tense. I would recommend at least a present, at least a future, at least a past, at least an imperfect past, at least a couple more different types of past, maybe a few more futures. You could even try to work in a couple of different sets of present for possibly position, role, location. Work the cases in if you can. Just be insane, make as many as you can. I would highly recommend you check out Artifexian's video on tenses to learn more about how to make them insane. Right now though, I'd like to specifically focus on present tense. For all your pronouns, which by the way you should have completely unnecessary ones, maybe dual pronouns, tri-person pronouns, that type of stuff, I would highly recommend that you have a different conjugation for every single possible thing, every single possible verb. They don't follow order, they don't follow a pattern. Say your verb is to go, and you have another verb, to walk, and their conjugations are completely different for the same pronoun. I mean, over time they're going to match up with other ones, but we want them to feel random. Now, the fun part, past tense. I speak German, which has some really fun past tense with helping verbs and the imperfect sometimes doing one thing and sometimes doing another. So, work in a little bit of German influence, I would say. Have past participles, definitely have an imperfect with vowel changes, maybe consonant changes, but if you want to go super mega ultra insane with the past tense, your imperfect and your past perfect should have completely different sounds than the present tense, than the normal infinitive. So you're gonna make this just horrible to memorize vocab. It's sample time. I'm suggesting something of a system similar to an infinitive of, say, Jakapopodup, a present of Apodupawaka, an imperfect of Jakazdavapol, and a past perfect of Kortiuiop. The last tip I have for verbs is dealing with future tense and helping verbs in general. So you're going to want to have as many helping verbs as you can possibly fit in, ones that don't even make sense to have in the first place. It just makes it even worse. Also modal verbs, those are really great. They have totally different rules, you can make totally different phrases. They're also super important. So I recommend you have modal verbs and just make them awful. If you think it's good enough, and you're satisfied with your grammar, well then great job. You've moved on to the next level, which will be the next video in this series, wink wink, Morphology and Making Words. I look forward to seeing you next time, In the meantime, I'm Connor Quimby, and this is How to Make an Awful Conlang.